The following is a presentation of TFNN. Live at TFNN, the Power Trading Hour, with your host, David White. Now, the author of The Path of Least Resistance and the Tech Insider, David White.
And it is a gorgeous, beautiful Wednesday, September 5th. And today we celebrate Be Late for Something Day, the Procrastinator's Day. I tried to do some research on this day to find out just who did it, but unfortunately they said there was a note there that said that they would try to fill it in next week. So didn't get too far with why procrastinators wanted to have this day, but apparently they didn't procrastinate enough that it was actually on the schedule of holiday days and weird holidays, but it actually was there. So someone did something at one time, but I guess they won't be procrastinating on that any longer. They'll find something new. So I've always worried about that. That kind of reminds me about two things I really hate, and it's apathy and stupidity, and frankly, I don't know if I care anymore. So anyway, when we go into this, we'll see a lot of news going on this week, a lot of releases of new products. We're going to go through them fairly quickly. Windows servers from Microsoft was released today with a 90-day test drive and on their Azure cloud for free. Microsoft makes a huge amount of money off these. I know Microsoft has been one of the leaders and actually looks fairly strong. MSFT, I got a quick quote here, but it looks fairly strong. It's staying well above that $30 mark. We'll look at it a little more after we get through the news, but this is I think got a steady pace of releases all the way through the end of the year. All these things are big in the profit centers. Between this and upgrading their operating systems and the servers and the SQL servers and all this stuff, they've got new versions coming out with all kinds of new features. A lot of them probably businesses will need. Of course, they've got Windows 8 coming out, and all this stuff will tie in together, and a lot of new features. Doing pretty good. Other things going on in the market. We talked a little bit yesterday, and then last week someone called in about AMD and why it wasn't doing well. And I said that, the problem is that you need to make smaller chips to use less power. Even if you had the same design, making it smaller, taking it from most of this stuff is either 38 or 45 nanometer technology, but some of it's pretty much 28 nanometer technology from most of the stuff from Intel, and some of it's actually 22 nanometer. They also have a thing that's called 3D chips, where they're actually building these one chip on top of each other for the cores. Intel's also done that. What we found out is Taiwan Semiconductor, TSMC, which basically builds everything for everybody else. They just get the designs and they crank it out. There's one more, which is Global, what was it, not Global Supply. I'll think of it in a minute. Anyway, there's one other company, but they don't even build to the same level of technical expectations of TSMC. Anyway, they were out last night. They plan to start mass producing next generation of 400 millimeter wafers. Think about a wafer as the base to put all your chips on. Right now, everybody's using 300 millimeter wafers, which is about the equivalent of 12 inches. 415 nanometers, or is basically like an 18-inch disc. So one looks like a record album, one looks like a cymbal from somebody's hi-hat on a snare drum. One is very large, the other ones are not. Chip makers can get about 2.5 times more chips from a 400 nanometer wafer than from a 300 nanometer wafer, and most of the 10 nanometer technology, which would mean theoretically they could get to 10 nanometers and build on one of those 400 millimeter discs, 10 nanometer technology, was going to be in 2015. They've pushed that out to 2018. I think when we see weakness, especially against anybody competing with Intel, Intel has got, what, we got 2012? So these guys are not even going to show up to the party on big stuff till, 2018. That means that Intel has an incredibly huge lead in that they're building 22 nanometer technology right now, and that they're going to be going to 14 or 16 nanometer technology by 2014. It looks like none of these guys can even even get close to keeping up with what Intel is doing. Intel has announced, although they haven't said who, that they will be making chips for other people. So it looks to me like with a lack of people spending money in this sector for a long time, Intel has continually pushed to build better manufacturing techniques, not, probably better design techniques also. But at the same time, even if someone had the same design, they don't have the capable hands of somebody like Intel to build anything that is small. It is going to hurt all these companies. ARMS Holdings, which we talked about yesterday, AMD, which I talked about last week and not being real high on just because of the problems that they're going to have. There's going to be the haves and have-nots, and right now it looks like Intel has a road ahead of it that no one else is going to even be able to come close to. But I don't know, they're probably going to have to be very easy on it, because I could almost see the specter of them for 5 years having such an enormous lead that the big hand of the antitrust division may be looking at somebody like Intel. They may make them split up. But if you're Apple and you want to make something that needs 22 nanometer technology because suddenly you'll be able to get, let's say, 25 or 30% more battery life out of the same device, how does that play out when you go and you literally have nowhere else to go but Taiwan Semiconductor, and they can't do it? And what they're saying here today is, don't look for anything anywhere anytime soon. 2018, we're going to be 3 years late. That's, every 18 months you're supposed to double your technology. So look for Intel to continue dominating 3D chips, which is, they can actually put a chip on top of a chip, and they call it a Vista, TSM something. I'll remember the technology in a minute. But I don't know. This is kind of the death knell of anybody that really needs high-speed, low-power chips. Intel are the go-to guys. I wonder how or if they're going to become the next big fab, and literally, other than for low-cost parts, shed that off to Global Semiconductor, and I did remember that from earlier, and Taiwan Semiconductor, both of the major fabs that can't keep up. Just because you're a little bit better than Global, Taiwan Semiconductor still going to have issues. NPR and crowdfunding, good piece yesterday on Kickstarter. I brought up Kickstarter a few times. It is kind of the crowdsourcing funding for fairly inexpensive projects like movies. Also some, basically kickstarting money for small electronic and software firms. But my problem has always been that exactly of the producers. If anybody's seen that movie, either the Zero Mostel one or the Ferris Bueller Days Off one, both of them the same theory is that two con men decide that they're going to start a play. They're going to sell 1,000% of the profits to a ton of people, and actually I think they end up selling 5,000% of the movie. So all they have to do is make sure the movie goes broke the first night. It gets the worst reviews ever from everybody on Broadway, and they'll go out of business and no one will be looking for their money. Unfortunately, it's so bad everybody thinks it's funny, and of course they're in jail the next day. Both movies well worth seeing. I like the Zero Mostel one just a little bit better, but the idea is, how are these people going to get their money back if nothing goes on? And Kickstarter, why they say that they will, still has no way of refunding money and doesn't have a mechanism to do it. But you might want to punch that up on the NPR website and take a look at it. Bloomberg has yet again spent a lot of money to go out and fight the government and get a lot of the veils taken off of the SEC and Wall Street. One of the most interesting thing in Business Week from Bloomberg right now is that there was an SEC commissioner, Annette Nazareth, had a fairly cozy relationship with her former colleagues. SEC scales generated somewhere around $240,000 to $156,000 for commissioners. So we know the most she could have made while she worked for the government was $240,000. She left in 2010, but a firm that tracks partner commissions for partners in law firms show that just in a year and a half after she left, she made $2.3 million in 2011. So the revolving door is out there, and really, if you're working for the SEC and it was you, how hard would you want to buck the trend if you know you're making $240,000, which would be the highest paid person at the SEC, or if you leave them and go right to work for one of those Wall Street firms and get 2.3 as a partner. 2.3 million, that is. Anyway, another good one to Google out there, this Business Week and SEC commissioners. There's a whole bunch of these revelations that basically say that these guys wouldn't even read the documents that the companies were providing. They just said it was nap time. They'd go in and go have a nap. Chinese iron ore inventory grows for the fourth month in a row, and they basically look at the supply on the docks. The Chinese government news organization Xinyu said that the iron ore market will continue to be oversupplied in the near term, and that the downward trend seems irreversible. But over the last 4 months and even into this month, it's been a couple of percent or so each month growing on the docks, and this month was no different, with 2.5% more supply of iron ore ready to go, and no one buying it in China. So it continues to look like the slowdown, or global slowdown, is ready in the markets. There have been some people talking about the good jobs numbers. David Rosenberg of Gluskin Chefs, he is the chief economist and strategist, basically has done a study to find out that 25% of all new car loans are subprime loans. This gets us right back to the exact same level where Bear Stearns and Lehman Brothers blew up 2007. So we're right back to what we were before. It was good then, it's got to be now. Anyway, we'll be right back in a minute.
Kate Stalter's exciting newsletter, Low Priced Leaders, has just launched, and now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial. Every Wednesday afternoon, Kate sends out her weekly newsletter to her subscribers, where she focuses on small cap stocks with market caps under $2 billion, as well as low-priced equities with share prices ranging from $5 to $12. Kate tracks a variety of stocks with a combination of strong technical support and solid fundamentals. Many of the stocks featured will be recent IPOs. These newer issues are often some of the biggest price gainers in the market and provide an excellent opportunity for substantial gains if timed correctly. You can catch Kate Stalter live on Tiger TV with her small cap roundup every Tuesday and Thursday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, and visit TFNN.com right now to get your 2-week free trial to her brand new newsletter, Low Priced Leaders, while locking in the low introductory monthly rate of only $37.50 per month, almost a 50% discount. Act now.
With the launch of Tiger TV, TFNN has brought our programming to the next level. With Tiger TV, you can gain access to each host's charts and computer screens as they host their daily stock program. Whether it's Tom O'Brien, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Ken Shreve, Kay Stalter, David White, Larry Pesavento, Victor Jones, or Carol Martin, you can catch all of our technicians hosting their programs live and archived on Tiger TV for your viewing pleasure 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you haven't checked out Tiger TV, then visit TFNN.com and see what you're missing.
You take a hands-on approach to managing your investment strategy. You're always looking for the next trading opportunity to magnify your perspective. Direction Shares connects sophisticated traders with a powerful array of ETFs from a wide range of asset classes. The markets may go up and down, and you want tools for both sides of the trade. Discover how we can help at DirectionShares.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction Shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction Shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction Shares at 800-851-0511. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors employing dynamic strategies. Investors in the fund should understand the consequences of seeking daily investment results, understand the risk of shorting, and intend to actively monitor and manage their investments. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com.
Millionaires are made every day. The fact is, living your dreams is possible. Someone, somewhere is going to get rich. My recommendation is, let that be you. Each day, someone is making the decision to better themselves and creating a plan to fulfill their financial dreams. Let that be you. The key to turning dreams into reality is to take massive action. Let that be you. I'm Steve Rhodes, co-host of the Money Master Show with Tom O'Brien, seen daily at TFNN, and I can help you with your journey to great wealth. I'll show you how to create the ultimate financial edge, a set of tools, insights, and strategies that are part of my daily newsletter service, Mastering Probability. You'll have direct access to me by phone, email, and my private library of trading and investing secrets for 30 days with an unconditional money-back guarantee. I'll take your trading to the next level. Click on my name, Steve Rhodes, on the homepage at TFNN.com and turn your dreams into reality. Mastering Probability, folks. Let that be you.
This segment is brought to you by Goldfields. For more information, just click the Goldfields banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And we've got another kind of sideways day out here. Probably no surprise that nothing has changed. I've looked at the market and think that this is probably the end of fund buying somewhere today, and we may have seen it already in the last hour. Doesn't mean that the Treasury Department won't come back and juice the futures in the S&P to keep this market as flat as possible. But 1.6 billion shares so far today. We've got an hour and 30 minutes, a little more than that left. That comes out to about 2.3 billion shares on the day. Going to be a very, very light day out here. I actually did pull the trigger on my first option position. I'm going to be taking October options out there, and these are going to probably be short positions for the most part, depending on what they are. But I have been basically without a position for about 10 days in the newsletter, and I finally found something I liked. And there are a couple of other ones that I'm probably going to get a hold of fairly quickly. But we're pretty close to pulling the trigger on a few more. I suspect that we're going to break out of this fairly strongly. And even though the SPYs, or the VIX has gotten up to 17 and as high as 18 yesterday, I suspect and have found some fairly inexpensive options out there. So it's, even though the VIX is up, the market hadn't really moved so far. Kind of interesting. Don't fight the Treasury. Well, anyway, you don't fight the Fed. I think you can fight the Treasury. Of course, everybody thinks that they're bigger. I suspect it's going to be let go on the 12th or sooner. The 12th is the German decision by their Supreme Court on whether or not they can bail out the rest of Europe. I suspect that everybody's so sure that it is going to happen that I'm more than willing to take the opposite side of that trade. Because I don't think that there's much upside if it does come through, since 99% of the people believe it does. But I believe that even if it does go through, the German people are probably not going to live with it. But anyway, we talked a little bit about leaks, and Kia's Lumina 920 came out today. It is the first Windows 8 phone. I've played with a Windows 8 device emulator for about the last 6 months. I really like it. I think it looks good. Is it going to supplant Android and Apple phones at the beginning? No, but Windows wasn't all that great either for a long time. Microsoft has a pretty good reputation of Jizing, which is just be 1% better every day. And I suspect that they've got a product that's at least decently usable in this Nokia phone. We're going to see a lot more Windows 8 phones coming closely, but pretty much exactly what I was talking about yesterday when they showed it today in New York. That is a wireless charger. You lay it out on this pad. The pad also has some speakers in it, so you can actually play music out of it. Kind of neat. It has most likely the best camera that's ever been in a phone so far. This has a lot of technology from the same kind of thing that you would expect out of a Olympus camera. Much, much better than anything's out there now. I haven't seen what's in the iPhone 5, but super high resolution display. The display on it that they call the PureView, the density for pixels is a higher density than an HD TV television, and looks, from all accounts, very beautiful. They like the design. Everybody likes it. Kind of going to find out how well Windows 8's apps come out. But very nice design. Everybody's pretty positive. This is one of the first things that Nokia has done in a year that is remarkable. Whether people will buy it is a question when Android and Apple have such a lead. If you were really into real estate or something, might be a great phone for you because it does have the best camera and video camera. It records video also. But it's got a motion stabilized camera in it and some other stuff and a very low light lens in it that's more like a real digital camera than a camera found in a smartphone. Anyway, pretty cool stuff. And that's it. We're going to get into some charts here in just a minute. What do we have here? Just a few seconds left. Wanted to go back through and see if we've got any decent moment. Nothing too exciting. Let's go back here. I wanted to look at MSFT. And nothing really to speak out about. This thing's bouncing around the highs. And even if the market pulls back a little, I think we'll probably be back in even at the low end of the 28s out here as it completes this consolidation. Anyway, we'll be back in a minute and start looking through charts.
Tom O'Brien's daily trading newsletter, Market Insights, has delivered powerful results for subscribers, and now is the perfect time to try it out for 2 weeks absolutely free. We're so confident in the value Tom provides his subscribers in his daily newsletter that through Labor Day weekend only, when you sign up for a 2-week free trial to Market Insights, we'll send you a free copy of Tom's best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, completely free of charge. Will even cover the shipping cost. Cancel at any time during your 2-week free free trial to Market Insights and pay nothing, and keep Tom's free book as a gift from us. This offer is only valid for new subscribers. We've only extended this offer once before, and it will only be active for a short period of 2 weeks. So act now to take advantage of this great offer and be ready to capitalize on a more active, more volatile market once traders return from their August vacations. All the details are on the front page of TFNN.com. Sign up for your free trial to get your free copy of Tom's best-selling book today. If you're an investor looking for a great weekly investment newsletter, then now is the perfect time to try out Ken Shreve's Ultimate Growth Stocks. Every Tuesday, Ken breaks down multiple sectors in his weekly newsletter, Ultimate Growth Stocks, with a full in-depth report including specific trading recommendations within his model portfolio, charts, sector analysis, upcoming economic data, along with intra-week trading updates on newsletter positions whenever the market dictates. Right now, you can receive a full month, that's 30 days, to evaluate Ken's newsletter free of charge to see if it fits your trading plan. At less than $75 per month, Ken provides you with his expert trading advice that can pay for itself in no time. Take advantage of this great offer by signing up for a 30-day free trial to Ken Shreve's Ultimate Growth Stocks today. Don't let this offer pass you by. Visit the front page of TFNN.com and sign up now.
What type of investor are you? Conservative, moderate, or aggressive? No matter your investor personality, your overall portfolio should reflect your financial goals, time horizon, and your risk tolerance. Help ensure your portfolio is appropriately invested with an asset allocation plan from Morgan Stanley Smith Barney. Simply picking the right stocks is not enough. Research has shown that choosing the right proportion of stocks, bonds, and cash is essential to the success of your long-term investments. Morgan Stanley Smith Barney believes that a carefully selected portfolio can lower volatility and increase investment return potential. Find out about what asset allocation and a Morgan Stanley Smith Barney financial advisor can do for you. Call Angela O'Brien, First Vice President and Certified Financial Planner of the Clearwater, Florida branch at 727-441-6108 today to discuss your personal financial needs. Asset allocation does not assure a profit or protect against loss in declining financial markets. Investments and services are offered through Morgan Stanley Smith Barney, LLC. Member SIPC.
Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
This segment is brought to you by Crocodile Gold. For more information, just click the Crocodile Gold banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Kind of quiet right now. Kind of interesting. See if there was anything actually moving in the marketplace out here. And normally you start seeing, if we're going to see a nice big close and some volume, see that kind of volume come in. We're still at 1.66 billion shares, so it has been very quiet over the last 15-20 minutes since we started the show. Wanted to look and see, still range bound within a point or two. This is the end of fund buying. There is an organic reason to be, but you've got a lot of statistical evidence that normally shows that we probably are looking at a flat or down market into September. If you're going to rally, most of the time that's going to start in October. So does it have to be the end of the world? No. But I suspect there's probably some big opportunities, and the longer we stay sideways, the bigger this break is going to be, whether it's up or down. But I think there's a couple of bets that I'm willing to take right now. When we were looking at Intel, I'm kind of surprised to see this thing down here. I guess maybe it doesn't really matter. They've got so much of the business already that it is the overall economy driving their technology sales right now. But kind of surprised to see it down here on the lower end of the scale when Microsoft has been holding up so well. Maybe they're thinking a lot of people just upgrade their software, not the hardware. But it continues to see, not a whole lot of huge volume down here. $24.92 seemed to be kind of the low end at 61 million shares for May 23rd. We've gone below that a couple of times and fairly instantly bounced out of that. I don't see any kind of volume that even comes close to that right now. It closed back into 24.92. Would say that we probably would be looking at maybe the technology sector starting to move. What do we want it to go? SYM. SOX. Anyway, we're going to get a look at a few charts out here this morning. One of the things I thought was kind of interesting is that we've seen some of these banks try to break above kind of a trend line. The last breakout for Bank of America apparently was a false breakout. You had, $7.90, 350 million shares, 240 million shares at $8.22 for the June 20th high, 250,000 shares, or million shares, on the July 2nd high. We got up to 180 million shares on the August 21st high, and have closed back below all those. You're right in that, just around that 790, which has been fairly stern resistance in Bank of America. Not a whole lot of volume as we've gone sideways here. What else do we have here to look at? D.H. Horton, there's a couple of them. We'll look at Ryland too. But these things, D.H. Horton, a little weaker than Ryland as we look at the housing market. $19.35 on July 24th with 11 million shares, has got into it with about half. September 4th was $16.58 for the high with not half, but close to half the volume of 6.8 million shares. So we continue to see very light volume at these highs in a lot of the different stocks. Gold Corp, been looking at some of these gold stocks. This one hasn't come in as light as you would like to think, but it seems with gold pushing highs. I didn't give a gold quote today, but what are we at here? Off $2 at $16.94. We're looking at certainly light volume as we come in to these highs. On Gold Corp, symbol GG, we're looking at the June 6th high, $41.24, 7.9 million shares. Got into it with 6.6 million shares, and still kind of hanging around those highs. I like to see one more test of this high on lighter volume, but pretty light volume actually out there today. I suspect that we're probably a day away from gold either pulling back and showing this as a false break to the upside, or actually gold actually truly breaking out. But I suspect from watching the dollar index, dollar is probably actually ready to start moving higher. Glenture Realty and Trust, GRT, is another one, but this is one that looks even weaker than the last, and that is kind of nice high out here at $10.68 on July 5th, 2.4 million shares, and that really set the high. We've been going over that, and going to close over it today with 1 million shares. I continue to see a lot of these, maybe we'll go to IYR, see these EFTs testing these highs on lighter volume. We had IYR, which has been playing around a very narrow trading range. Hasn't really come back and tried to fill the gap up from 629, which I suspect it is going to at least try to get back down around that $63 level. What we've seen is a 66 21, $66 range be significant resistance. We are having volume today in it, in the IYR, and it's going to be, let me see, I guess that was yesterday. So let's fire this back up and take a look at it. Had big volume yesterday. Didn't quite get back up to those highs. Fairly light volume today. I suspect we probably had a little bit of short covering into that move from yesterday afternoon. But that may be the end of the fund buying coming in the real estate area. But I still think this thing could easily get back down to the $63 level and test that gap that has not been tested so far. IWO, which is the Russell 2000 Growth Index Fund, is back at what should be fairly stiff resistance. There's two previous highs in this area, plus a gap down that happened on fairly decent volume of 1.3 million shares on the 4th of April. We tried to come into that with a little higher volume, actually, that spiked, but could not hold it on May 1st. We've had 2 million shares on July 5th that quite didn't get there either. A little closer this time, but volume nowhere where it was before. 1.2 million shares yesterday. And I don't know if this volume is right today, but it's fairly low. So we're going to continue watching these, but a lot of stocks at make or break points. And I think we should see these things start to break out or break down probably late today or tomorrow. That's why I'm going to start putting on at least some positions and probably hold them at least through the 12th or 13th of the month, as long as we don't get too far out. But I suspect puts are the cheap play of the day. Pier 1 Imports, another one of these retailers kind of pushing up to their previous high volume highs on lighter volume. PIR is the symbol. The April 3rd high came in at $19.09 on 4 million shares. Got into it over the last couple of days with 1.6 million shares. Not a lot of volume today, but certainly no real sign of strength on Pier 1 Imports. We talked a little bit about Ryland, so I wanted to look at it again. I suspect we'll have just a little error pop up here. There we go. Come on. Let's try again on Ryland. There we go. Ryland's popping up, but the volume, Ryland's probably one of the few up here that's actually got decent volume in these home stocks when we're watching them. 1.6 million shares previously on July 10th at $27.15. We've gone over that by a good 60 cents and hit the high on the 4th here on 1.5 million shares, but volume is pulling back. And again, you like these things to come up there on volume at least at the same or more, but when they get up here and the volume's just kind of the same and then the volume drops off, you have to kind of worry about that entire part of the market. 7 Arts Entertainment, I don't know what that is. What else is Charles Schwab? USG. USG, of course, is the company that makes a lot of drywall, other things for building. One of the weaker ones of these, as it tests its top now. Symbol is USG. We saw the last high at $20.98 on July 18th. It had 4.7 million shares. We got into that with 3.2 million shares and got over that today. What do we have? Yeah, 3.2 million yesterday, about half that today. Certainly no real sign of strength on this one. So we continue to look at these markets that seem to be, how can I say it, weak. And just doesn't seem to be any energy up or down either way on these. When they hit these highs on lighter volume, they tend to stay up there. But not a whole lot. RGLD. You can always give me a call. In fact, we're going to be going to break here in a little bit. But you can always give me a call at 877-927-6648. That's 877-927-6648, and we'll discuss yours. Royal Gold does look kind of interesting here. I'll get a little bit longer chart on it here. It has one of the few, but boy, when you look at signs of strength in Royal Gold, the last sign of strength out here that was huge came with 9,300,000 shares on the, what was that, May 4th or something? June 4th. What we've had here is kind of a slow progression up. Had a nice candle on with just under 1 million shares on the 31st of August that looked like it brought us out after about 5 or 6 days, but certainly not a lot of volume. We want to see at least some kind of sign of strength within 3 days of breaking that $80.97 high from June 13th out here. Just really haven't seen it. You had that one really big sign of strength, which is probably going to be the downside in Royal Gold, which takes you, what, about $68 to about $90 right now. If this thing fails, I would imagine that we're going to see us at least come back down to that $75 level if we don't see any more volume in it fairly soon. But kind of interesting. I'd like to see some volume in any of these. But if you're looking at Tiger TV or in the Den, we had some decent volume on the 31st, but no volume or lighter volume yesterday, and today extremely lighter volume. So continue to see a market that is looking to be pretty weak. Some of these others that continue hanging out at these highs with light volume is Whole Foods market. It did a Green Mountain Coffee and all the other stocks that have blown up temporarily. This is one of the few to actually come back up to its previous highs. It has been going sideways on mediocre volume, I'll give it that. One thing I dislike about stocks that get back up to about in the 90s is a high correlation with them at least hitting 100. I suspect that you could see a jump in this thing, see it hit 100. If it had no volume, this thing try to come back into the $90 range where it had its huge last big gap up on the, what was that, August 26th? No, July 26th, excuse me. And we continue seeing that. SYM stocks. Look at the stocks. I talked a little bit about semiconductors. SMH is taking off. The stocks did have a little gap up when I talked about that at the last. It is slowly coming back down to the level of support on the semiconductor. That's probably why I'm not as bearish on as the chart on Intel would show. You've got a nice little gap out here and some highs. The July 3rd gap out here, or high, was $52.93. We're headed back down to that. What do we have for a low today? 56.06. So we're what, about 15 cents between that. So we're getting awful close to what should be support on the SOX if it's going to be. Let's take a look at the SMHs real quick. SMHs, same kind of thing, although I think it's a little weaker. We've come back down to the, what, $32.16. Is that, yeah, $32.19 yesterday, $32.16 today. We've got a gap out here at about $31.50 to $31 that has not been touched. It didn't bop up on all that much volume. And you do have the last big sign of strength off the bottom on the 18th of July. I think that actually sets up, July, yeah. And that actually sets up probably a retrace in the SMHs back to that probably $38.80, something like that, to $31.60. We will be back. Remember, you can give me a call at 877-927-6648. That's 877-927-6648.
Are you looking for a precision edge in the market? Something that can stack the odds in your favor? Then look into Larry Pesavento's new trading newsletter, Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind. In each weekly issue, Larry explains what's going to happen in the markets based on the pattern he sees developing and gives you actionable trade ideas based on those patterns. Plus, you'll get his detailed analysis on a variety of markets and sectors, including stocks, treasury bonds, the gold market, oil, the dollar, the forex market, and more. And you'll get the Technical Corner segment, which is a short but powerful weekly training session on trading. You'll get access to all the patterns Larry is seeing in the markets, plus the Astro Harmonics and powerful Bradley stock market model that Larry utilizes for less than $5 a day. An extremely potent combination that will give you just the edge you've been looking for. Try Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind absolutely free for 2 weeks. Go to TFNN.com and click on the free trial link at the top of the page. That's an $85 value, yours free when you register right now. Get Larry's Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind and get the edge you've been looking for.
In just December of last year, the price of gold was down over 10%. In today's highly volatile gold market, you need someone in your corner that understands the complex relationships that exist within the price of gold, as well as within a variety of gold equities. Whether it's the South African gold miners and knowing how the rand-dollar relationship will affect their bottom line, or understanding how John Paulson's $5 billion trade in the GLD can move the market, Tom O'Brien gives you the direction you need to become a better trader each week in his newsletter, The Gold Report. With over 20 individual equities covered and almost another 20 on the potential watch list each week, in addition to covering the XAU, HUI, GLD, and dollar, The Gold Report is a great source for any trader that is looking to be diversified in today's volatile gold market. For your 30-day free trial to Tom O'Brien's Gold Report, log on to TFNN.com today. Don't miss out on this great offer. Act now. David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Time is the great equalizer of all mankind. Time doesn't care about winners or losers, who succeeds or fails. Time only cares that you've played the game. Question: are you playing the money game? Is your money working as hard for you as you are for it? I'm Steve Rhodes, author of Mastering Probability, a daily trading and investment newsletter service, and we're celebrating our 1-year anniversary. In year 1, we generated a 30% profit. Plus, I provided 26 hours of live coaching to my clients. My daily newsletter service is available by 8 a.m. each day and covers the stock, futures, currency, and commodity markets, along with all the current patterns that you can trade. Each newsletter is packed with education, and it's yours for as little as $3 per day. And for the next 30 days, you can try it risk-free. Click on my name, Steve Rhodes, on the homepage of TFNN.com and begin your journey to great wealth today. If you're waiting for a better tomorrow, remember this: today's tomorrow will soon be yesterday, and your clock is ticking. Mastering Probability. Now is your time.
This segment is brought to you by TFNN. Test drive all the newsletters for free at TFNN.com.
And want to check one last time here as we look at the end of the day. 1.75 billion shares on the consolidated New York Stock Exchange tape. Boy, this is very, very light. 1404 on the S&P cash, and we're going to have another low volume doji day out here. Really building up some energy to move. Had a couple of questions and comments from the NN, so I'm going to cover both of them, which kind of been Apple oriented. one of the comments was using Office with their smartphones. Of course, Nokia and Windows 8 will have the ability to use Office applications from the Microsoft's cloud, but also the Apple products will be getting, I think it's in late October or in November, Microsoft is going to be releasing Office for Apple's, both their smartphones and their tablet devices. So there is going to be Office everywhere, and not a letter to write, but there's certainly going to be a lot of those technologies available for all these phones. Not exactly sure what they're going to do on the Google devices, if they're going to make Office available for Android, but I suspect at the moment no. It probably fits in a lot more with the iOS from Apple, in that it was written mostly in C. Objective-C for Apple products, but I suspect that it's a lot closer and easier port to take directly to Apple products. But probably not a bad deal that you are going to get Windows Office products when you buy Windows Office or Office Windows 8 smartphones. Anyway, I had a question about Apple. The question is whether it's going to run into the close or not. I really don't know. I suspect probably it's going to close rather flatly out here. The biggest problems I have with Apple now are all the leaks, which seems to be fairly confirmed. The batteries for these new Apple phones were found. Someone errantly shipped them somewhere, and now there's pictures of them all over the internet, which pretty much comes to the rumor that the new iPhone is going to be even more rectangular and narrow. The pictures I showed yesterday on the show. So I don't think that there's a lot that we don't know about the hardware so far. So it looks like it's going to be more of an issue of what kind of software and how much faster the new processor is, and how better the graphics engine is in the chip, and some of that stuff, and maybe LTE and all the other stuff that should come in the Apple phone. There's very little of any noise out there that it is going to have near-field communications, which I think would be a big deal. Unfortunately, if it was a Broadcom or if it was a Qualcomm chip, they make those chips with near-field communications in them. So we probably may not know until the launch whether it truly has it in it, until someone disassembles the thing. We get a part number off that Broadcom or Qualcomm chip, whoever they're actually using for the iPhone 5. But what do I see out here? I see a lot of people that, at least from the leaks, are not highly pumped about getting an iPhone 5. So people made some kind of less than enthusiastic remarks in the den about buying an iPhone 5 if you already had an iPhone 4S. But I suspect that's the biggest problem they have, is continuing to come up with anything. I still think that they're coming back down to 644, and we're going to know then if this is a false breakout. But I do not like the way it's acting up here. Anyway, we will be back tomorrow. I appreciate all you listening to me. You all have a great and wonderful and safe evening.